Hello and welcome back to the Boston Commune.
This week's Incredulous installment will feature commentary from Comrade Scott, Joe, Sarah, Chava, myself, and special guest, former Boston DSA co-chair and current host of Bostopia News, Evan George. Scott and I will be splitting editing duties this week. In this portion, we cover the catastrophic climate conference, a thorough theory primer to tie up last week's loose ends, and the hashtag hottest Halloween get-up on the market, chair not included. In the separately released interview portion, Comrade Evan provides both the inside scoop and bird's eye view of socialist electoral struggles in Greater Boston.
Please do us a favor, share this content. Do yourself a favor, enjoy your Epoch.
I mean, at least
Pelosi
acknowledged at the end of the question, like, I am addressing what you're saying, and we're going to try and do our best to make sure that they're using electric vehicles when they kill people.
What are your vocal exercises, Sarah?
Wait, did you really?
I don't have any. I didn't do like singing in school or whatever.
Me.
You did oboe.
Jeez,
or Claire, what was it? Is it oboe?
Shut up.
You both
don't
did
talk
oboe,
about
right?
that. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't like
New York.
We don't talk about the oboe on this show. Apparently,
no, don't.
We have two members who used to play who we apparently sworn off
It's a
talking
painful memory for me.
about the
Full of
oboe.
mine.
And about the oboe, Joe.
No.
Bow. How about you tell us about the globo warming? Damn it. I'm sorry, folks.
You had one job, Scott.
Yeah, I fucked it up.
So, according to the UN's Conference of Parties Summit in Glasgow.
Was this where Biden fell asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I really haven't been paying attention.
We talked about it on the show last week.
All right. Anyways, point was standing.
Joe's a very tired man.
Sometimes. At this conference, there was a report issued out that basically, if you actually read it, the conclusion you come away with is we are most likely all screwed because the projection is warming by the end of the century at the current pace of like real world action, like based on current policies. The planet is going to warm by an average of 2.7 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The Paris Climate Agreement has a goal of 1.5 degrees warming by the end of the century, whereas the report that came out this week from like the Climate Action Tracker, which is like the most accurate source of climate information at the UN, estimates that there will be 2.7 degrees of warming by the end of the century, which basically means that sizable chunks of the planet will no longer be possible for humans to exist in.
Not great, Bob.
Sorry, I had to.
So literally none of the projections, like not even the best case scenario has us getting to 1.5. The best case scenario is that we get to 1.8. The threshold at which things start to go really, really wrong for humanity is 2 degrees. 2 degrees warming is the point at which a lot of the damage to the environment is irreversible, and the most optimistic scenario has us getting to 1.8 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, but then that'll be exciting.
Mass
we'll be
droughts, famines.
riding the line, baby.
So,
I'm sorry.
Anybody with climate anxiety or climate depression is probably not going to be helped by this news, because it's the writing on the wall.
Well, the good news is that if we have a mega eruption of a volcano that wipes out
like
a billion people,
it's like south of
that could
UK.
maybe ding that number down a little bit.
Oh, really?
We could have another year without a summer, or several.
There's like a super volcano that's like south of the UK. That's in like the cave system.
The Yellowstone caldera is the...
It's been flooding.
Yeah, that's
and
what I
they
thought you were
haven't
talking
seen
about.
flooding, and like it's fucked. Like the more that it floods, the more likely it's shit's gonna fucking break. Da da da. Yeah, the planet is, planet's fucked. You know what do we do? Mankind did this: capitalism and industrialization, and imperialism and war.
It would be easier to cope with if not for the fact that our president goes, "We're going to solve this through market-based solutions."
As he's ripping ass in front of like fucking world
Which
leaders.
makes me both want to start laughing, but also kind of have like a rage ulcer at the thought of like, this is what it's come to. This is where we are. We've had all of these chances to do something about this, and this is where we are.
Well, if you're going to have an ulcer, a rage ulcer is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
I always say.
And you're going to see a lot of companies shift towards like, yeah, exactly. Like what Joe just said and what Joe Biden said of like market-based solutions, but it's all just going to be a screen to continue their activities unfettered. And yeah, we're fucked. Anyways, I don't know. It's kind of depressing, Joe. Maybe we shouldn't have talked about this. It's awesome.
On Evan's show a couple of days ago, he's talking about how there was a gas line, and there was a company that said that, well, because of this, we're going to be reliant on like fossil fuels for a while longer. And it's like, now we're just equivocating about doing anything about it. So there's like layers of this shit.
Which to me is actually why there is some hope. You all weren't kidding. This is a gloomy a gloomy podcast. Is that all of the ranges that they generally give, like we have to hit this target, we have to hit that, they are all actually reasonable within our system, that if you want to maintain the current system, you'd have to hit those increments in terms of the temperature. But we all know we're not going to hit it because, as I think this podcast and your audience would know, we are trapped into a capitalist framework where everyone is really just out for themselves. So my gloom doesn't come from our leaders and not hitting the benchmarks they're telling us, because we all know that that's never going to happen anyway. And so if you accept that what was needed is a radical transformation of society and you're prepared for that, then okay, because I don't expect this current system to fix it, and neither should anyone else. So there is hope. A different society is possible, but within this current society maintaining itself, that is all gone. And so if you had hope, if this helps you dilute that a little bit, get on the team. You'll be okay. We'll figure out a different society than this. That's how I look at the global climate news.
That is a fantastic point.
Yes.
There was a period of time where, like, every night Rachel Maddow supposedly had the smoking gun, and I would talk to my mom on the phone, and she was convinced that the very next day, Orange Cheeto be fucking out of there, you know? So that continually experiencing the trauma of Orange Cheeto still there, you know, day after day, is a significantly more depressing scenario, I have to say. So
yeah, you can have these expectations, but you're gonna have a bad time.
I have more faith in the working class than I do in Rachel Maddow. I'll say that much.
Yeah, of course.
There are people of sound mind who have faith in Rachel Maddow.
Dude, she has like the second most watched fucking show on TV.
The Tucker Carlson of the
I said of sound mind.
Democrats suck ass.
Okay, we know this. Come on.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with the idea that, like, not that we've experienced something like that before personally, of like society having an event changing enough that things actually happen. People said that a lot about like mutual aid stuff in the pandemic. They were like, "Oh, this is the time." I went to like tons of presentations about it, or like seminars, and people being like, "Now is the time. We have to like stick with what we're doing now, get it like ingrained into people's habits, and like build up all these connections, and then that'll be good, and then we can like keep this going." But then the reality was just, you know, people went back to work, people had less time for stuff, you know, shit happens. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll be better. People don't have work to go back to if in the event of an apocalypse, but yeah, I don't know.
And that's called accelerationism.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, okay. Thank you, Sarah.
What are we going to do now, Scott?
What are we going to do now?
I don't know, I was trying to...
Hey, whatever helps you sleep at night.
It's fine.
That does not help me sleep at night.
Or doesn't help you sleep at night.
Oh,
I was just... okay, whatever.
It's okay. It's fine. It's because, okay, you have to look at it this way, that like...
It's the heightening of contradictions, and we're not responsible for it, so we don't have to...
Yeah, but
bear
more,
the burden.
And also, we're in this place and time and space that, like, you know, like, it's more comfortable for a lot of people to just go back to work right now than it was to push and put more pressure on the system for change to happen. It's an unfortunate state of the material of life, of existence, that, like, we're stuck in this place and time, and consciousness isn't where we need it to be to meet the place and time that we're stuck. I've said this before.
We haven't entirely gone, quote unquote, back to normal, to business as usual, because there has been, at least by American standards, a fairly unprecedented strike wave.
Yes, which is awesome.
Yeah, true. Tight. True.
Yeah, let's just leave the positivity
at the door.
We don't have to psychoanalyze the shit out of this. We can just let it be.
Leave all positive feelings at the door.
No.
Leave your baggage at the back door. And I'm leaving you the way I think it should be.
Anyways, do you want me to do my segment? Or
yeah, do your segment. What was that?
Okay.
What was that? Tell me what that was first.
That was nice.
Your segment.
It was Under Oath.
Oh, it was Under Oath. It's easy. Okay, wow.
All right,
remember the first two albums when they were like a grindcore band? Or like deathcore or whatever the fuck?
But core.
Now they're this like...
all right,
fine.
okay.
I don't want to get it.
I'm Jesse, and this is a Theory Primer. What's the song for that? All right, okay.
It just feels like elevator music.
This is a Theory Primer. Check your time. Keep your praxis from getting messy. Comrade Jesse.
So, this primer arises from my ambiguous wording in the last episode. I said that the authoritarian tendency of the state is made transparent by the ruling class, but I could have said opaque.
You said elevator music, buddy. No, I got a fucking whole tab of elevator music.
No, I did.
It's done. It's over. Sorry. Keep going.
Point being, I could have said opaque rather than transparent, and it probably would have made more sense. Allow me to clarify. The ruling class has an interest in hiding the authoritarian character of the state from the working class, and there are myriad reasons for this, even during times of relative political stability in quote-unquote liberal democracies like the United States. For one, capitalists are propped up by the Treasury Department. As an example, the CARES Act airline bailouts allowed then Secretary Steve Mnuchin to funnel tens of billions of dollars into the hands of JetBlue, Delta, and United Airlines execs, who then turned around and fired the workforce. And it took a massive union struggle for just a fraction of those employees to get their jobs back. If the masses believe that the organs of the state serve as a regulatory check against the interests of big capital, then the allegiance of the masses to the state, or with the state, cements and further legitimizes the supremacy of the capitalist class. In other words, the state aids the ruling class in wielding power over the working class, and it is only through militant organizing that the labor force can counter that authority with power of its own. So once we factor in the military, the justice system, prison industrial complex, and legislators dictating and justifying how those organs can and cannot be used, the authority of the state cannot be disputed. The class character of that state, on the other hand, is not set in stone. The Department of Treasury could just as well be used to pay the salaries of all low-level airline employees, while the top tier temporarily lives off the massive amount of capital amassed through prior subsidies, acquisitions, and exploitation. Another more insidious incentive for the ruling class to obscure the authoritarian character of the state in liberal democratic periods may be to prime the petty bourgeoisie to react and mobilize at the prospect of any future proletarian dictatorship. Those who lack the awareness of how they already benefit from regulatory oversight, infrastructure, social security, and the like, would find themselves trapped between an increasingly hostile capitalist class punching down from above and an increasingly brazen working class pressing up from below. When the institutions that once served the franchise owner now serve the line cook, when the courts that once served the landlord now serve the tenant, when the legislators who once lauded the Border Patrol agency now cater to the asylum seekers, the capitalist class will, in its death throes, point to, quote, brutal dictatorship and state tyranny. Of course, that dictate was always there. It is only the class character that changes. Capitalists reinforce the American promise that the hardest and smartest work yields prosperity, as we are all free people with agency, and thus responsible for our own respective material circumstances. Whether this myth is repeated in ignorance to mollify the ego or is workshopped for public relations is irrelevant. The result is that workers are further alienated from one another and from the public sector, which could be reasonably expected to provide for basic needs. If the proletariat demands less from the state, legislators are afforded more room to cut spending for critical public programs, lowering the floor for quality of life and putting the working class in an even more desperate and precarious position. In this configuration, the prospective employer who offers health insurance has more value to the proletariat than the state which criminalizes the uninsured. We know how this works because we've been watching it happen. It may be worth noting that this does create a contradiction of sorts for the ruling class, as the state continues to play a vital role in upholding the interests of capital. The state cannot be so weak as to crumble completely if threatened in a spontaneous revolution. It stands to reason that the capitalist class can derive the maximum benefit from the state if the average American views the government as too powerful to contend with, yet not powerful enough to provide for the masses. In other words, the government should appear inefficient or wasteful, and yet necessary to sustain order. What disturbs me is that this characterization, although reductionist and hugely advantageous to the capitalist class, has by and large become the reality. We are dependent enough on the state to warrant its persistence, as we would otherwise be at the mercy of the free market alone. Maybe the silver lining here is that the ruling class has been forced into a rhetorical corner by the dialectic between freedoms on an individual level and societal order as dictated by the state, though neoconservatives are more than happy to embrace that branding. Some of the state's authoritarian character can be obscured because so much of the surveillance and financial auditing has been outsourced to the private sector. Even violence can be outsourced, as with military contractors and constables. Through the lens of a neighborhood-level mutual aid organizer, the state has done nothing but disincentivize collective action, as I'm sure Sarah can attest to. Payment apps like Venmo and PayPal, both owned by the same firm, of course, prevent unincorporated groups from banking together by freezing shared accounts until a private citizen who owns a particular device can prove their identity and ownership of that device with the appropriate legal and financial records. The process of formally incorporating as a 501c to get around these roadblocks will require legal assistance and capital just to file the paperwork. A formal hierarchy must be established, at least on paper, with the appointment of president, secretary, and treasurer, all necessarily American citizens. Everybody needs a social security number. The state and financial sector work together in this way to exert pressure against organizers who prioritize human need over profit. Meanwhile, corporate donors are rewarded with legislation that enshrines corporate supremacy. According to OpenSecrets.org, in the 10 years following the Supreme Court's decision in favor of unlimited independent spending, Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission, a mere 10 donors accounted for more than $1 billion of campaign financing. The highest court in the nation thereby reinterpreted the First Amendment to establish a positive feedback loop for the ruling class. And there's one last point that I need to clear up. I implied that a state, once stable under a proletarian dictatorship, can then focus on decentralizing economies. This is a mischaracterization of the second phase of socialism, which is the non-revolutionary period. Heckmat does not describe the specific tasks of importance in that second phase of development, and so I mistakenly glossed over that period entirely. It is my belief... Sorry, my cats are fighting. What's going on?
We love them, folks.
It's a Bindi and Smudge.
We love those cats.
Leave her alone. Leave Brittany alone. Sorry, where was I? It is my belief, and to the best of my knowledge, my comrades are in agreement that the industries which have commodified necessities for life, such as housing, utilities, healthcare, communications, and transportation, must be nationalized until and unless a stateless cooperative alternative can sufficiently meet the needs of the masses. This is the communist horizon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sorry, that was a little longer than I...
Do we all agree with that, folks? The bit at the end.
That is too much silence. I'm not comfortable with that.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, it's cool. It's dope.
I assume my silence to be a yes.
Yes.
Okay. I love you, Joe. I love you, Joe.
I was expecting someone to do a sound drop, so I wanted to wait.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. I was trying to be sincere because I totally spaced out last episode. So. Oh, my apologies.
My brain is still in recovery mode from taking in so many high-level.
There you go.
There's Dave when you,
Sure.
when you need him.
It's universal.
Wet ass P word.
Yeah.
You know who I haven't seen in a while, dude? Dave in a Cave.
No, I'm never doing Dave.
No, bring him back. Bring him back.
I'm never doing Dave in a Cave ever again. Fuck off.
Oh, he was the best.
No, he wasn't. He was a terrible plight on my soul. I'm never bringing that character back.
Well, it's on the internet, so like at least it's that exists.
You know, I don't actually know what Dave Rubin sounds like. I mean, despite having sound drops of him.
You did a pretty good job.
I did?
I don't know. Yeah.
I think like the fucking sound, like the cave sound was doing a lot of the work. Which I don't even like. The fucking problem is that here it is.
Or shall we instead bring back Midwestern Mark Zuckerberg?
No, I can't.
No, Midwestern Mark Zuckerberg was just like, I don't know. I'm in the cave right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the cave right now. So guys, I'm back, guys.
Yeah.
Now the cave is. You got to bring the cave. You got to combine the cave and the Dave.
The thing is, when he talks, he does a lot of like. You can like hear his lips, like you can hear them hit. You can hear the sound of them hitting each other when he's talking, and I don't know how to replicate that aspect of him. But everything else, you know, just the empty lips.
My lip rings can be a pain in the ass when I'm trying to record for the menagerie. It's like,
okay, Jesus Christ.
It's okay, on your teeth.
Oh God! All right.
Who's gonna go to Dave Rubin's house and kidnap his lips?
So who's going to go to Dave Rubin's house and violently cut his lips off from his face?
No. We don't have to separate them from his body.
So who's going to go to Dave Rubin's house and violently kidnap his whole body?
We could ask police.
I live in LA. I feel like that would be expensive to get there and back.
We could just say hello,
Dave. The dial of ideas was turned to low for the last few years. It's quickly moving into the hot position.
All right.
We can just say, hey, Dave, we need your lip. Can
the dial of
seriousness.
I've never heard that one. That one was good.
Did the primer help? I mean, I know, Evan, you were not present in the last
no, it did.
Primer. It did, but did it help bridge any of the gaps there?
I mean, I didn't have any major questions from last week.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice.
Thank
I like
you.
that you have a segment where you talk theory. It's good. It's good. Speaking of the dial of ideas, I guess we're gonna talk about the election, folks. Let's
crank that shit up to 11.
Did it do? All right, folks. Yeah, so you've already heard him talk, which is great. We have Evan George of Boston DSA here, former co-chair.
Put applause in the chat window in post.
I have applause.
It's whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude.
We'll fix it in post. We'll fix it in post. No worries.
We will be releasing the interview with Evan in a separate episode. Like I said, Scott was gracious enough to handle that portion of the editing this week. We won't make you pay for it, and it'll be in the same feed. For now, we're going to skip to the next segment. Both Evan and Sarah have departed for the evening. Scott, Joe, Chava, and I remain.
We're down to the Fantastic Four, the original bunch. Go.
All right. Well, the original four,
or the classic lineup.
Whatever.
The classic lineup.
Whatever.
Not the original, but the classic lineup.
This is kind of old. I found it too late, but it was too good not to share.
Play yourself in first.
Oh, I'm Chava. You can't make this shit up. So, Dolls Kill, which I think I've looked at their stuff before online, it's a clothing company, decided to make a sexy Bernie Sanders costume for this Halloween. Again, a little bit late here, but wanted to point out this existed. It's literally just like a coat and a mask and
It's pretty nice.
Some mittens that don't really look like Bernie's mittens, but I found the original.
Well, didn't he say they were like his wife knitted them or something?
No, a constituent did.
They can't be replicated. That's why. They have sentimental
Constituent's
value.
wife did it. All right.
They're unique. Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't know. They got on the coat, they got like the diamond that's on the sleeves. So that's about it. I mean, it's like a little dress that's a sweater.
That's the fucking brand logo.
And Doll's Kill was charging $68, and that was on sale.
That is amazing. That people will pay for that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, people will pay for
People
all
will
sorts
pay
of
for
shit.
anything around Halloween that takes what is a normal thing on any other day and just cranks the sexy up to 11.
Sexy frog, sexy hamburger,
Sexy hamburger.
What about that sexy frog?
There's like some video that I don't remember who it is of a guy. It's a comedy sketch of like a guy selling sexy Halloween costumes. Yep, there you go. You can still buy it and you can wear it next year on Halloween.
I like the review. Quote, it doesn't even come with the chair.
Okay.
Quadruple exclamation point.
That's what Barney thinks you're fucking sexy Bernie costume.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah. Ladies!
Simply a coach.
He's laughing. I love it. Anyways. We've been going. Jesus, an hour and a half. We are Epic Incredulity.
Yeah, Epic Incredulity.
Oh, wait, no. The Epoch. I'm fucking idiot.
We don't remember what our name is.
Maybe. We are the
Wait, what was the story? Anyways, it doesn't matter. Birdie East.
The look is meant for you to be a viral internet meme.
My name is Scott.
His name's Scott.
You can find... My name is Scott. You can find me on the internet at Sweaty Wife, at SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd.
Sweaty Wife.
Joe!
I am Joe. I have internet accounts that I don't actually use anymore because I can't remember what day of the week it is coherently. So
I missed the old Kanye.
Like seriously,
the whole song.
I got a weekend off from work,
Just don't play it
and I completely lost any sense of what day of the week it was.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
Hi, I'm Chava.
Oh yeah, wait.
You're gonna shit. He's gonna do the thing.
And Gilad Hatanagra. His eyes uncovered!
You can find me online at readingsbychava.com. It's .net. No, it's .com. I do that every fucking week. It's just go there. I do psych readings, but they're weird.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding dong.
It's .gov.
And so what if there was?
It's .gov. So what if there was?
So what if .gov? Anyways.
And he's Jesse.
I'm Jesse.
Did you use the word smart?
Don't use the word smart with me.
Don't ever use the word smart with me.
You can find my music at soundcloud.com
Okay.
Sorry, I'll stop.
Contingent Boston.
The girl from E.
CONTINGENCE Boston. Remember to hit up Comrade-Rosie.org. My cats are like having a fucking triathlon in the apartment right now. Comrade-Rosie.org. Select that Getting Involved tab and choose one or more mutual aid groups to donate your time, labor, and or money to because people really need your help right now. And I do have a slam recommendation for the week. Your slam recommendation for the week is the album Ingesting Putridity by the one, the only, the Visceral Disgorge.
Disgorge?
Fucking classic 2011 slam album.
What a name.
One of my favorite all-time albums. I believe they are from Baltimore. And their drummer has like a giant bright red beard. And they're heavy as fuck.
Sorry, folks. I'm yawning over here.
What are you sorry?
I'm yawning over here.
How dare you yawn?
At his slam
The
recommendation.
song I'm going to use in post is called Maggot Infested Fuckhole.
Nice. Remember, kids, any hole can be a fuck hole if you fuck it.
If you're
Especially,
brazen
it can
enough,
be especially bad. Don't forget to hit up patreon.com/epicadrility for all our bonus materials and access to our Discord.
That's right. We're also on TikTok, Clapper, Instagram, YouTube.
check out Evan's shit too.
Yeah, check out Evan's shit because it's great.
It's very good. We're on Instagram as well. And every week we say, but Tank Joe.
The music.
But Tank.
Wow, Joe, there's a very late reaction. No. We love it.
No, it's not the late reaction. It's like, I didn't think it was going to go for this long.
It's like a fucking, yeah, it's like an actual song, dude. We're about, it's almost over.
Yeah.
Just loop. There we go. As always. But Tag Joe, that's your Epoch. Oh my god, it's late.
What they do.
Dude, fucking hour 40.
Came.
Ew.
I didn't really, but
Came twice.
Come on now. Don't come. You're punching you for coming.
Well, there we have it.
Come.
And at that moment, he died.